Welcome to the Business Builder YouTube channel, and I'm going to be doing long form videos like this to really dive deep into some of the nitty-gritty nuance of questions that are coming up with my clients and people in the community. Today I'm going to talk about pricing because this is one of the biggest questions that comes up right at the beginning for coaches, whether they're starting out and needing to establish their offers or trying to get to the next level and restructure their offers in a way that allows them to scale themselves. So we're just going to dive in. Again, my name is Steve Perkins, and I'm the founder and owner of Greenhouse Coaching, which is a company that works with leaders and building culture. We also do career transition coaching and help individuals, especially generalists and people who don't quite fit a box in the org chart. And then this is a specific program for coaches who are trying to grow the life they want. So I'm going to put 20 minutes on the clock and really try to keep it within that time frame. But we'll do each lesson this way so that we can kind of cover something in depth. And again, I'm just going off of what people have been really asking for more of. So here's where we're going to start. Pricing. This is one of the hard ones, and we want to avoid talking about money. So one of the best things to do is just to dive in and hit it head on. So first, let's talk here. What you want to have is an offering stack in your business where you're basically offering the same value and transformation at different levels of engagement with different price points. So I just sketched up an example here that is similar to what I would advise a lot of businesses to have. But you start from lowest price entry level offer, gives people a chance to try before they buy and really taste and see that you are great at what you do. Versus, and this can be the problem with a lot of coaching businesses, is expecting people to go from stranger to paying thousands of dollars. And so we want an entry level, something like a mini course online, or some kind of downloadable resource that you charge for. Or what's great these days, as the online market gets more cluttered, is a workshop. So they get to experience in person what you're like, what interacting with you is like, and just see that you're real, you're legit. So something like a workshop. That moves up to the second level, something like a group experience. And this might be a group coaching or a mastermind. And what you need to do is think about, in my video that I link in the description here, I go over in detail the 10x rule. So 10% of people want to pay 10 times more for more value. And so as you move up this, you're essentially you're offering something that's 10x more. But we'll talk price ranges today. So group experience, then up to one-on-one coaching, something like 6 or 12 months, and then corporate engagements, because again, if you're trying to get to that next 20K a month, you want to have a combination of individuals and corporate clients if you can. So really what we're talking here is, the workshop might be something in the range of $50 to $200. And that's a one-off fee. So this is also nice because people don't have to feel so committed and worry about being committed long-term to something. Then as you jump up to group experience, this might be something in the 500 to 2,000 range. And here I'm talking total amount, so not a monthly amount. Then when you get up to the one-on-one coaching, this is where the range can vary quite a bit. But really in total, it should be somewhere between 2,000 to 25,000 total. And so we'll talk about that more in a sec. And then corporate engagements, this is where you can really take that jump up. And that could be anything from 5,000 to 100,000 and above. Highly dependent there on what the engagement is. All right, so you pick your prices within that space, and your exact prices are going to depend on the type of offer, the type of coaching you do, the market that you're in and what the market can bear or what they're expecting, and then also your experience as a coach. Like, what are your skills? How much experience and cred do you have? And so really the key here is I do not want to offer services for free, and I do not want to go guru high. Why not free? Well, there's a few reasons. First of all, it devalues your service. And because people don't really know what coaching should cost, the worst thing you can do is devalue it right from the start. It's going to make them feel like it's less valuable, and you're going to feel like it's devalued what you do, the value of what you offer. But the other problem is it becomes really sticky. Like when do you offer it for free? When not? And so sometimes coaches will get stuck in this thing like, well, I should have like a friends and family offer, or, oh, let me just give it for free to some people up front to kind of get it going. And the problem is it becomes really squishy, and then you feel bad, and it kind of creates this downward spiral of negative feelings. Just start from the beginning confident and knowing that what you offer is very valuable, but people don't quite know what it should offer, so I need to help them figure that out. You also don't want to guru high because, we see all these people online and they have these crazy high prices, and then that gets in our head. The thing is, they've been doing it a lot longer than you think they have, because they were doing it for a long time before they got well known. And they also have a lot of kind of audience and credibility to build off of in order to price it really high, because they're working off of a bigger audience. So what you want instead is something that feels good when you share it out loud. Like, you want it to actually, now at first it might take some confidence building. At first you might be uncomfortable saying it just because this is a new thing. But after you've practiced it some, you want it to feel good on the inside, meaning it resonates with you, and it doesn't feel icky like you're doing something that at the end of the day you wouldn't stand behind. But it also needs to align with your business vision. And this is a lot of the work that we do in the program is you have to know, okay, what is it that I'm trying to build? Don't just copy someone else. What am I trying to build? How much capacity do I have to work with clients? And then price accordingly and actually do the math. And we'll pull out the spreadsheet and do the math and say, okay, so if I have this much time for these number of clients doing this type of work, then when I fill that full slate, it needs to produce the income, especially the profit, that I want and need in my business for what I'm trying to build. So sometimes a coach will have this plan of their prices and their offerings. And then even in the best case scenario, when they fill all their slots, it's like they're still not making enough money, because you got to actually reverse engineer it for these three things. Okay, looking good on time. So here is the secret sauce. And then we'll dive into like an actual example. This is the secret sauce right here. So if you are in startup phase, or you're trying to restart and get to the next level, that's what I'm doing here. I've already built my business, Greenhouse Coaching, well beyond what this business is. But now I'm kind of restarting a new channel, this business builder program. And so I'm going back and doing the same thing again. And what it is, okay, here's the problem. How do you get enough clients to start and kind of get over that initial hump, but also not shoot yourself in the foot with giving away for free? Here's the answer. You offer to the first group of people, you can decide how many that is, half off in exchange for these three things: a review on Google, a referral, and a case study. This is gold right here. I wish I would have known this, because everyone feels good in the exchange. As a client, I feel great because I'm getting a good deal with the half off, and I can provide these, of course. Like, I was probably going to provide them anyway. And then as the coach, it feels great because I start getting the assets I need to build the business on. And these things are hard to get. Getting good reviews and case studies, it's really tricky early on. And so you're getting them right away. That way you have social proof, and you're amplifying this 6 degrees of separation that we talk about of referrals, because people know people. And if that's the place you're stuck in, then check out my video here where I go over the whole growth plan, the Business Builder growth plan from start to finish. Every detail is in there, and I talk all about how to build a virtuous cycle of new clients. So this is gold right here. Okay. So final thing, let me walk through an example with some numbers for the typical kind of newer coach. All right, what you want to do is have a balance of options and agency. So what's the problem with offers? Well, either it's overwhelming because there's too many options and people can't decide. They get stuck in this analysis paralysis. Or it's too narrow and they don't feel like they have choice. They don't feel like they can choose something that fits them. And so they're like, that offer doesn't work for me. And then they choose nothing. So we want to provide both choice and agency. This is how you do it. So in this example, I'm talking about one-on-one coaching for 6 months. And for someone kind of getting started out, a good price point is usually around $500 a month for 6 months. Okay, so that's kind of my standard pricing. Then I offer option B, which is paying in full upfront for a 10% discount. So that might be, for this example, around $3,300. What this does, it gives the client the choice of what's going to fit me best. Plus, this is just the coaching offer. You probably have a few other types of offers like we talked about here. But just for the coaching, I've got 2 options. I can pay monthly, which might fit my financial situation. Or if I've got the funds, I can pay up front and save, and that feels great too. And with almost any of these offerings, you can do this type of scenario, okay? So once you've talked through this with somebody, the big thing a lot of coaches miss is coaching them through the return on their investment. You are a coach. You're not a salesperson. Don't act like a salesperson. Act like a coach. What a coach does, if you already had a paying client and they showed up to your session and you said, hey, what do you want to coach on today? And they said, well, I'm trying to decide about making this big purchase for like a coaching thing, and I just want you to help me think through that purchase. I'm not sure if I want to do it, and I don't know, I need to wade through it. Okay, what would you do? Like, you would use your coaching skills to help them think through, all right, what's the value of it? What's going to be the return on that investment in your life, in your career, in your finances? What are the holdups? Do you need to talk to a spouse? Do you need to save some money? Is money too tight? Like, do you need to shift some things around? How is it that you are going to think through this decision? So even right there, you're giving them tons of value. Even if they don't sign up with you, like, that is super valuable to help someone think through how they make decisions, because most people don't have a framework for that. Okay, so you continue being the coach. This is where we get trapped. We shift into this weird mode, and no. You continue to coach them through making a great decision, whether that's a yes or a no, or maybe later. If you are a consultant, a creative, or you're just doing a project, then the way to think about pricing is not offering an hourly price, but offering a project price that's based on the outcome and the value they get, that is basically built off of your hours. So you want to have in your back pocket your hourly rates that you use to calculate, and then you come to your price using somewhere between 100 and 300% markup on the hourly based rate. So if I am at $100 an hour, which I'm not saying to the client, but that's in my back pocket, and it's a project that's going to take 10 hours, okay, then it's $1,000 is the price, and I mark it up. Let's say I'm at 300%, and so the price is $3,000. This is what I'm presenting to the client. And that's really important because now we can shift them away from trying to calculate hours. You know, that's just where people's brains go. They're like, well, that's all we know, and so that's how we think about it. I'm like, okay, oh, $100 an hour or $300 an hour, that's a lot. Like, I only get paid $50 an hour, and I only pay my contractors, you know, this and that. And so they're getting stuck in the wrong place. Instead, I want them thinking about the value, the outcome they're going to get from working with me, from the project. And if I deliver that value, what is it worth? So this is a nice balance of having a way to calculate it instead of just guessing every time, but also making sure you coach them on their mindset. Because here's the problem. If they are thinking hourly and paying you hourly, then the better you get at your job, the more you get punished. Because think about it, the better you are, the faster you're going to be able to produce results. And the faster you produce results, the less you're going to get paid because it's less hours. So that's not the way you want to go about it. You want, the better you get, the more you want to be profitable, because this same $3,000 project takes you less time. All right. So we're at the time there. I think this should be pretty helpful. If you have certain questions, put them in the comments here. And like I said, we actually work through this for each business when you join the Business Builder program. So if you want to explore that more, check out this next video. I'll link it right here, or just go to my channel and look it up there. It's the main Business Builder Growth Plan video where I walk through the entire thing. And then if you're ready and it's a good time for you to do the program, go over to Instagram, coach_business_builder, coach business builder, and DM me the word grow20. Grow20, and I'll send you all the information about doing it.